been so peaceful and so quiet in here. I miss Jenny, but you, no.
Okay, I want you to keep that same energy next week when I say, can I do another week from home?
Oh, yeah. No, come on back.
Well,
Okay,
you know what,
you.
Skip? I appreciate that. I was about to take it personally, but thank you for saying it. We will be back very, very soon, but don't worry. We still have a packed Undisputed, and we have to start by discussing LeBron James because, you know, he did sit out his first game of the season last night ahead of the All-Star game this weekend. And meanwhile, while he was sitting, Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Damian Lillard all had huge games that resulted in wins for their teams last night. This may have cost LeBron his frontrunner seat, as Fox Bet now has Joel Embiid as the slight favorite to win MVP over the King. And Shannon, I know you noticed this. At this point, who is your first half MVP?
Well, see, Jen, I don't like the way you got that written because in one saying you said who's been the best player the first half, and then the other question is who's the MVP, and I believe those are two separate arguments, Skip Bayless.
Okay.
I believe the best player in the NBA currently still is LeBron James, but given what Joel Embiid did last night, Skip, that was unbelievable. That was as good a performance, and he had some big moments this year, and I agree with Fox Bet. I'm going to say Joel Embiid has a slight lead. But if you look over the past couple of days, Skip, you saw Yoke. He had a 39-point triple-double 2 days ago. We saw Dame. He didn't shoot the ball well last night, but guess what? The thing is, he's unafraid to take big shots and make them in big moments when a lot of people will shy away from those moments, considering how bad he had played. James Harden has been spectacular. Nothing short of spectacular since he joined the Brooklyn Nets. But the thing James has had is that he's either had Kyrie or KD riding shotgun with him the entire season. The only guy that can make a compelling case like LeBron is Dame because no CJ, no Nurk for the better part of the season. But Skip, I will concede this. Given what, and it's kind of like a movie, what's your best Denzel Washington movie? It's probably the last one that you saw because Denzel doesn't make a bad movie. And right now what we're seeing is that Joel Embiid keep throwing up these 39, 40-point team rebound games, whether it's 40 and 15. It was 40 and 19 last night. But the best player is LeBron. But this is, I believe, Skip, this will be the closest MVP race in all the races before because you got very worthy candidates that can make compelling arguments in different situations. Joel Embiid has had Ben Simmons and had Tobias Harris the better part of the season. Yoke has had Murray. James Harden has had Kyrie and KD. But the question is, Skip, are you going to hold what transpired against James Harden in Houston? Not only did he quit on the team, and we all believe that he did quit, but they lost games while he was there. So does he bring that loss total with him to Brooklyn? Or do we expunge that part, the first 9, 10 games of the season, and say, okay, James, you get a fresh start. But I believe right now, I would say Joel Embiid is in first, LeBron is in second, James Harden is in third, and Nikola Jokic is in fourth.
Okay, before I express my shock over what you just said, quick aside on Denzel movies. I liked The Little Things. I thought it was really good. I was riveted to the sort of shocking end to it with Jared Leto. But
right.
When I think
it's
back,
not Training Day, huh?
I mean, Training Day or either of the Equalizers. I'm sorry, I can't say that The Little Things was better than Training.
X.
Yeah. Okay, so we got that. Now, to my real shock, I thought just 2 days ago on this show, looking right into this camera at you, I heard you say that LeBron was still the MVP. And you're going to be a prisoner of one Wednesday night moment of Joel Embiid, who, by the way, just 1 day ago, you said was not as good as Jokic. You took Jokic over Embiid, and suddenly off one night at home in Philly against Utah, you have vaulted Joel Embiid, my guy, to the top of the MVP list for the first half of the NBA season. That's what you're saying.
Skip, no, what you're trying to do is that you said Nikola Jokic was better than Joel Embiid, and you said LeBron. Okay, I still believe, you asked me, the question the other day was who would I take? I still would take Jokic, but just because I would take Jokic, that doesn't mean Joel Embiid is not the front runner for the MVP. Now, I will give you this. Had LeBron been able to pull off that performance of the other night, which he had 36, and they won that game, I believe he would have stood pat. But, Skip, you know how this thing is. This thing is swaying back and forth in the wind. And so that's what we're going to have. It's going to be nip and tuck. You're going to have one guy going to have a week where he scores 30 and his team goes 3-0, and you're going to see the betting sites move him to the front of the MVP race. I believe that's the way it's going to be. But I believe this thing is neck and neck between the top 4 guys.
Okay, so do you have LeBron second, third?
I do. Yeah, I have him second. I said I had Joel Embiid slightly in front of LeBron. I'm going to do James Harden, Yoke, and Dame Lillard.
Okay. I'm going to restate my case about LeBron James to start this off with by saying that if you remember, as we broke for the pandemic during last basketball season, I told you LeBron deserved the MVP. So I said it, I stand by it, I believe in it. This year, he had a chance to make a front-running case where he could have come close to closing the deal if he had taken over the NBA season without Anthony Davis. And he's now played 8 games without Anthony Davis. And yet, through Valentine's month, the month of February, I can't help it, Shannon. I lost love for your man LeBron because he did not rise and he did not shine without AD. And I realize he lost Dennis Schroeder, but come on, is he Kyrie Schroeder? I don't think so. That was even more of a big moment. Yeah, but LeBron has to seize the day and the night. He has to take over games at home. And you realize without AD, he went 2-4 in the month of February at home. And he lost to Brooklyn without KD, and he lost to Miami, which had been struggling up to that night. He lost to a Washington that was 10-17, and then he lost at home to Phoenix after Phoenix lost Devin Booker early in the third quarter. So didn't have Devin Booker, their best player, for the bulk of the second half, and LeBron couldn't close that deal, so he certainly closed no MVP deal.
No. And like I said, Skip, but let me ask you a question. Did the Phoenix Suns still have an all-star, an all-NBA point guard still at the helm? You make it seem like they lost Devin Booker, and Devin Booker, yeah, he's their best player, and then they had nothing else. But Chris Paul was still there. But let me ask you this. Without Anthony Davis, with LeBron James and Dennis Schroeder, what's LeBron's record with Schroeder without AD? You see, because you keep saying no AD, no AD, but we know what Schroeder is. There's a reason why they traded for him, Skip. You try and see anybody that comes alongside LeBron. You talked about Daniel House last year in the bubble. You talk about Bruce Brown. But when I mentioned Dennis Schroeder, you're like, oh, who is that, Kyrie Schroeder? No, he's a very valuable piece for what they do. He's their third best player. He handles the ball. He does a lot. He's their best on-ball defender. And he was out 4 games, and they didn't win any of those games without Schroeder. So he's a valuable piece. Is he more valuable than AD? No, I've never made that argument. But to try to minimize him and try to make it seem like he's the 13th guy on the bench is just not true.
Okay, but Shannon, I'm grading on the scale that you set on this show because you even now, just a few minutes ago, you told me LeBron James is still the best player on the planet. You call him the GOAT. I call him the phony GOAT. But you call him the GOAT and the best player on the planet.
Yes.
So Schroeder, Footer, you know, what does it matter? Who cares? If he's that guy and he's playing at home, he has to win a couple of these games against Brooklyn, Miami, Washington, and Phoenix, and he lost all 4 of them.
Beat Brooklyn with 2 All-Stars. Minus your All-Star, beat them with 2, huh? That's what he should do.
Is he the best or not the best?
Who else beating him?
Okay, but...
Hold on, Skip. Go ahead.
Okay, but Shannon, if I look at his month of February, it was pathetic by LeBron's best player on the planet standards. In the month of February, he shot 28% from the three-point line. Without AD, he also, through 8 games, shot 28% from the three-point line. In the 8 games without AD, he's made 61.5% of his free throws. That's just pathetic. He's still second in the NBA in turnovers. That's not great. And then I look at the big picture of the season. He's averaging 25.8 points. That's pretty good. 8 rebounds. I like
Pretty
that.
good, okay.